Okay. And
All
I've
right.
got the other slides up, and I'll make any changes you guys think I need to make.
Okay, well, let's start. I'm Sarah Haddix. I'm the leader for this week for Module 6. We have Georgia and Marie on the line, and Karen is coming in. She just needed another invite. We are talking about preparation for our ABPP this week. And Marie, what George and I had said was that if you look at it, what we think you need to do is maybe you talked about the assessment part, which is awesome. I don't know that you need to go so in depth, but at the end, I don't think you should talk about the pilot program because that's what we're trying to bring in. What I thought you could incorporate is maybe talk about my original assessment following the injury, and then when I maybe came back to you, I had, gone to yoga and my assessment had improved. Do you know what I mean? And that's what prompted us to start this pilot program so that everybody could get the benefits. Is that, Georgia, did I just kind of reiterate that correctly?
You kind of broke up,
Yeah,
Sarah.
I think the
Can you say that again?
I'm going to try and rephrase it a little bit. Is part of what we were reading when we read that section was we were reading you writing it sort of in the past tense, like we'd already started the pilot. And we can't really write it that way because we're waiting on permission to spend the $10,000 on the pilot. So we can't write it like we're in the middle of it already.
Okay. Okay, Sarah, could you go back and tell me?
Okay.
You kind of broke up for me about.
So what I was thinking.
You want me to keep the assessment?
Right. I would narrow down the assessment a little bit, the assessment portion, but leave it there. But then instead of talking about how you put me in the pilot program, we probably either need to discuss how I came back to you following yoga and you saw such a marked improvement that we all decided that this would be a great idea to market as, our pilot, that this is what we wanted to try for everybody so that everyone could, we could try to get this out to everybody.
Okay, so when you come back, you talk about the yoga, then do I contact Karen and Georgia about maybe starting the program? Is that how you want me to phrase all that?
I think it's more that we went out looking for evidence.
I agree, Georgia, that maybe based on my results, Marie, we decided to do some further research, investigation, and found that yoga has all these great benefits.
Okay. Okay, I'll change that. Was there anything else on my part that you wanted me to change?
I didn't see anything. I think that was really it for me. But, I don't know if anybody else has read through it in its entirety. And, Georgia, if you did anything after the fact, I don't have that. But I did a quick read-through, and it is really long, as it is right now. It's very, very close to being 15 minutes.
Well, and my thought process, I put on us to have notes in there to show what we're taught. But my thought process is not to read all of my notes, but to use those as talking points. Because if I read through everything I wrote in notes, I can tell you we're going to take more than a minute a slide.
Oh, absolutely. And that's kind of what I did. And even reading pretty quickly, I don't know how Karen can't participate.
do we have to do the one slide that talks about that she introduces us? Can we not just introduce ourselves instead of having that take up that amount of time in introducing the back team? Would that help to reduce
No,
some of the time? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I think we have to. Introducing the back team in our roles is part of the grading criteria.
Yeah, it's part of the rubric.
Okay, I thought she meant when she wrote that we are to introduce ourselves prior to reading our slide.
Well, that's certainly a possibility, but I think the introductions have to be in a slide somewhere because their story is if we can't make it out from your taping, we'll give you credit if we find it in the written portion.
Well, we could put your name and then in parentheses who you're portraying, like my name, and I would put occupational health nurse or whatever. I'm just trying to cut down on the amount of time of talking.
Yeah. I know when we did this for the other class, we started it before we even went past the title slide, we started it by going through, we were the team, I'm so-and-so, and this is what I did, and I'm so-and-so, and this is what I did.
Well,
now, if we wanted to, we could put it in front of each of our sections.
Yeah, I was just saying, do you think it'll sound bad if we put it in front of our sections?
Like if Karen starts it, introduces herself, as the team or whatever, and talks about it, and then, now I'm going to hand it over to Marie, and, Marie had, the program investigation, and then I'm going to hand it over to Sarah, and then Sarah's like, and then Georgia, who's from Fiscal Services, broke down the cost for us, and, and then I could introduce myself, and hey, I'm, I guess we could do it that way. I don't see a problem with that. It's just going to, it's whether we do it all at once or whether we split the time out into our individual sections. We still have to do it somewhere.
Right, right. I just thought maybe if we incorporated it like in the first slide that you are going to talk on, put it there, then I don't know, maybe it might cut down. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look through all of it to see.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't have any notes that we have to read. We don't have any notes we have to read for the title slide, and the title slide has everybody's name on it. So, if she wants to do the introduction under the title slide, that would be the place to put it.
That's a good idea.
So,
what do you think, Sarah?
Well, I'm trying to get Karen on here. She can at least see us, so that's a bonus. I might exit this call and come back in and see if she can get on that way. But
okay,
I understand what you're saying. I just feel like introducing everybody at the beginning kind of sets them up for, I guess, an overview of what we're talking about, or the part we're going to present before it gets to that part. Do you know what I mean? Like a little bit of preparation for what you're going to talk about.
Well, I can see it giving it a little bit of credibility, like, okay, here's your team. You've got somebody from administration, you've got somebody who suffers from it, you've got the program lead, and you've got finance here, so you have credibility with us now.
And that's kind of my thing. I feel like if we just kind of do it as we go, I feel like it's a little bit more disjointed. Whereas if Karen starts it off by the introduction and tells everybody who we are, what our roles are in the team, then I think that's okay. The one part I would take out is underneath where she put my name. I would get rid of the experience with the benefits of yoga, because I think that segues too much into what our intervention is, and we want to kind of save that for the big, reveal or whatever.
So maybe you should be a nurse,
Right,
nurse with a history of workplace injury.
Well, yeah, like if you just literally cut off everything after point of view, she wrote a wonderful little introduction. Sarah's an RN at our facility, and Karen's introduction of the team is a requirement. She's texting me, sorry. She says Sarah is an RN at our facility. She has personal experience with work-related back pain, offers insight from a patient and nurse point of view. If we just leave it at that, I think that's a totally fine introduction. Do you want me to try to exit out of here now and then us come back in so we can see if Karen can get on that way?
Sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the call and then come back. So, Karen, that's what I'm going to do if you can hear us.